Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Perpetually Stuck in Friend Zone. Well, I've got two different emails I'm going to go through with you today. They're from two different guys that are obviously in friend zone type of situations with women. And obviously they want to get out of that and get into a romantic situation. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we're going to go through the first guy's email and see if there's anything that he can do to turn things around and move it from platonic into a romantic relationship. And the quote says, "When a man finds a woman sexually attractive, the superior approach is always going to be to reveal his interest and invite her out for a romantic date in the evening. The worst thing a man can do is to try to fly under the radar by masking his true intentions and presenting himself as a potential platonic friend instead of what he really wants, which is a romantic lover. Men who dishonestly and falsely present themselves as friends when their intentions are romantic are setting themselves up to be perpetually stuck in friend zone and not have any woman respect them as a man. It's always better to get rejected immediately by being honest and authentic about your intentions than to waste months and even years of your life hung up on a woman who has no romantic interest in you, thinking you're going to change her mind." So let's go through his email. Now, this guy's emailed me a couple of times about this particular woman. This is somebody that's paying me to do some email coaching with them. And so on my website, I'll actually have the full response that I sent him, and then obviously I'm going to go through it in the video and maybe discuss some things from a little bit different angle. He says, "Hey coach, this is a follow-up to last week's email. Just a refresher, I'm interested in a lady at my gym. We've hung out before, and I didn't go for the kill when she invited me in." I think it was the email that he had sent in last week. He took her out, she invites him up, and is kind of giving him signals that she wants something to happen, but he does nothing. Didn't try to make a move or anything. And this has been going on for like months. He's been hanging out with this particular girl. The problem is he spent so much time acting like her friend and hiding his feelings and attraction, and it sounds like that at least at some point she was romantically interested in him, but he kept hesitating and dithering. And when you do that with a woman, eventually she realized, oh, this guy just doesn't have any confidence, which once a woman realizes that, her attraction level is going to plummet, and then it's really hard to recover from that. He says, "My Christmas party for the gym was this past weekend, and we rode together." So here's something that I want to point out. It's like you only do group dates when you're in a relationship with somebody. You haven't even kissed this girl yet, and this is part of the problem. You're hanging out like buddy-buddy, and you don't ever do anything to advance things romantically, and you take her to a Christmas party when you're trying to seduce this girl, and all you end up doing is putting yourself in a room full of cock blockers. Especially if she's starting to lose attraction, one of the other guys at the Christmas party, because obviously if it's a gym's Christmas party, there's probably other dudes there, they may end up hitting on her. And that's not a good situation to put yourself in. So this tells me that you really haven't read the book, and even if you have, you're not really following it because you're violating a lot of principles from it. He says, "We were there until after midnight, and then we left. She was showing all the signs. She was letting me massage her shoulders and play with her hair." Now so he says, she was letting me. What does that tell me? She was letting me massage her shoulders and play with her hair. It's a guy who's put her on a pedestal and kissing her ass. This is the problem. You're treating her like a celebrity. Like, oh my God, I touched her once. Oh my God, she looked at me once. You're not acting like a guy who's an equal, a guy who feels like he deserves to be there, a guy who's like, I'm fucking awesome. I'm a catch. Of course I'm with her because I deserve to have an amazing woman. That's the place you need to be coming from. But this is the problem. You really like this girl, so you're being extra nice to her, and that's the problem. You're typical Mr. Nice Guy. And all that you end up doing by being Mr. Nice Guy and hiding your sexual interest is eventually she realizes you just don't have any confidence and you don't have any game. And I think, if I remember right, he was married for several years and went through a divorce this past year. And so his whole courtship of this girl is just an absolute train wreck because he's trying to fly in under the radar, and it's just a bad way to go. He says, "I was like, hell yeah. We were bantering, having fun, and talking shit. We pulled up to my place and had a shot. She started playing with her hair and rolling down the windows nervously. She was fidgety like nervous energy. I was thinking it's time. I had my hand on her shoulder and pulled her to me. See, that's nothing natural about that. You're forcing yourself upon her. You're trying to force something to happen. And in that kind of a moment, that's why I talk about in my book. One of the best things to say is, you know what? I think you need to get it over with and kiss me right now. Looking at just like I did right in that moment. And if she's ready to kiss you, she'll smile and lean in and kiss you back. And if she's not, she's going to start talking or change the subject or say something else. If she goes, well, I don't really think of you that way. I just kind of think of you as a friend. Then that's when you say, I like you and I'm attracted to you, but I'm not interested in just being your buddy or your friend. We've been hanging out a lot, but I just wanted to take my time and get to know you because, after all, I just got divorced a matter of months ago, and I want to take my time, get to know somebody a little bit. I mean, that can be your excuse if you're in this kind of situation, because this guy's been out there probably like a dozen different times. And so he never makes a move on her because he's always trying to be Mr. Respectful. So he says, I had my hand on her shoulder and pulled her to me, and she fucking dodged me and hugged me. That's awful. That sucks, man. I used to do shit like this in my early 20s, so I'm not calling the kettle black because I know what you're doing. I've been there. I know what it's like. He says, I invited her in. She came in for a few, still acting nervous, etc. So when she left, I decided to hug her. Come on, man. It's like giving a hug is a friendship thing. That's your problem. You're just hiding and like hoping she's going to make the move and be the man. It doesn't work that way. You're the one with the penis. You're supposed to penetrate a woman with your strength. I guess my printer decided to turn on and do a self-cleaning thing right now. So he continues on. He says, she came in for a few, still acting nervous, etc. So when she left, I decided to hug her and see if she was a little more open to kiss by pulling her in, but it didn't happen. I mean, you can just think about that. That's kind of weird and awkward. I'm going to hug her. Oh, and he's probably holding on a little too long. Trying to move the lips around. Kiss me. It just sounds weird. Instead of, you know what? Your lips look a little dry. I think you should bring them over here and let me moisten them up for you before you go. And then you start kissing. And then you start making out. And then maybe you lead her back over the couch. You sit down and start making out for a while. You're like acting like the typical creepy guy who's clueless. Like thinking, okay, now it's time for the kiss. Come here. Ugh. It doesn't work that way. No sensory acuity here at all. You got to pay attention to the signals in the body language. Like I said, it's really easy and very effective to say, hey, I think you need to get over with and kiss me right now. So he said, but it didn't happen, man, obviously the kiss. He says, it's weird because I felt like she's showing all the signs. When she got home, she sent me a text. I ignored it and haven't texted her since. She invited me to church that night, saying that she wants to go with me. Then today, she brought me a cake at the gym. Bro, I don't know. I'm not planning on texting her, but I do see her every day at the gym. How do I act? Be fun, be playful. If you see her across the gym, wave to her, and then go about your business. You're not going to go out of your way. You've gone out with this girl and tried to kind of creepily hug her. It's like you're masking your intentions. You're like going in for like the hug, pulling her in. Like when you touch somebody's shoulders, you're pulling them in for a hug. There's nothing romantic or kissy poo about that. It's like I said, the way to handle it is just exactly what I said to her. I think you need to go get over with and kiss me right now. He says, do I banter and flirt or just act indifferent? You're going to treat all women the same. That's why you should be practicing this stuff with all women. And your problem is you got no other options going on in your life. You've been focused on this and fixated on this one woman for months, and you're always acting like the friend, and then the opportunity presents itself where you're thinking it's maybe time to kiss her, and it's like it's a fucking train wreck. It's weird, and it's awkward, and she can tell it's awkward. I feel like my situation is a little different because I do see her every day. In other words, so therefore I don't have to follow what's in your book. It's like, well, how's that working out for you, dude? It's obviously not. He says, what the fuck is up with this woman? I'm guessing she's either shy and structured or has a low attraction level. Well, it's really your fault because of how you interacted with her. It sounds like there are times when it seems like she's showing you interest, But it's like you don't know how to go about it. And this is why you got to read the book 10 to 15 times. You got to learn the fundamentals and apply it. And if you had several other women in your life, you wouldn't be all over this girl and take her into group events acting like the friend. I would do nothing. I would never call or text this woman again. And at this point, because you tried to kiss her, she obviously knows that you were trying to kiss her. But what I would do at this point is wait to hear from her when she does. 2 to 3 texts back and forth, max. Or 2 to 3 minutes on the phone if she's calling you, and just say, hey, it was great hearing from you, but I got to run. Keep in touch. And that's what you say to her. And if she wants to see you, she'll be like, hey, we should get together. Hey, I'd like to see her. Hey, there's a party this weekend. If she mentions something like that, say, hey, I'd like to see you too, but I'd really like you and I to have maybe a nice quiet evening together. She's already been to your place. You've been to her place. So you could say, you know what? It's been a long week. I'm just in the mood to hang. So why don't you come on over and we can grab a bottle of wine or something and we can make dinner together. When are you free? And don't go out of your way. You've already taken her out and done all these ridiculous things with her. Now you need time alone with just you and her to create an opportunity for sex to happen. It's time, dude. The place that you're at, she's already been to your place numerous times. And like I said, when you're with her and she's playing with her hair and doing all that shit, when you see those things, when you notice that behavior, that's when you go, you know what? I think you need to get her with and come over here and kiss me right now. Or you can say, you know what? You're sitting pretty far away. Why don't you come over here and sit next to me and plant a nice big fat kiss on me with those gorgeous, beautiful lips of yours. Be creative. Say something along those lines to move it forward. But like I said, I do nothing, and even when she does call you, make her bring up getting together, because you've gone out with her and 2 different times on one day you're trying to kiss her and hug. I mean, it's just weird. It's like a teenager, and you've been married before. You should know better than this. Hopefully. So let's move on to the second guy's email. He says, hey, Corey, I'm stuck in the dreadful friend zone. I met this woman 2 months ago through a mutual friend. Based on her actions and what she would say to me, she was really into me. I would tell a good friend and my therapist what she would say and do, and they both agreed. Despite what she's saying now, I think I missed my chance and fell into the friend category. And basically what happens, the friend category, is you interact like a friend so much, or you act like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have any confidence. And most women have been out with enough guys like that to it's always weird and awkward, just like the previous guy's email. And so they know how it ends. They know the guy hasn't figured things out yet, and they don't want to wait around. It's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy. It's not going to be awkward. It's going to be awkward. It's not going to be fun. And so it's just easier for them to say, hey, you know what? I just think of you as a friend. Because most guys, that don't have any balls, when a woman says, they're going to say, okay, sure, yeah, that sounds fine. Yeah, I don't want to lose you as a friend. And then they just continue to mask. And then it's, oh, my car broke down. Or, oh, my garbage disposal's broken. Hey, I got a leaky toilet. Can you come over and fix it? I got a hot date Friday night. He's like, sure. He shows up with his toolbox, and his hat, and his overalls, and he fixes all that. Anything else you need fixing? Okay, call me if you need anything else. And then he takes off, and some other dude comes over and fucks her. And then takes a nice big fat fucking dump in the morning on the toilet that you fixed. He says, I was attracted to her the second time I met her. We spent a great deal of time together, and the touching and conversations were beyond friends, though nothing happened. We would spend all day together drinking wine and making lunch. Anyway, just over a week ago, we had a text conversation about our relationship. Your relationship, huh? She asked if we could continue to be friends or should she back off. He says, yikes. So that's when I revealed my true feelings. You vomited them all up, I'm sure. He says, there's lots of baggage, and I should run like hell, but we are really connected. In other words, I really like this girl, and there's a lot of fucked up things about her, but I don't care because I really like her. Last Sunday, she essentially said her goodbyes, and that it was great knowing me, blah, blah, blah. And as a coping mechanism, I turned to Google and found you. How fortuitous. Now, this kind of shit can become a thing of the past for you, my man, so good for you. Today is the first day of your new life. He says, I've been reading and rereading your book as much as I can and watching all the videos, so I decided to put this to the test in several ways. I didn't get in touch with this woman at all. Monday rolled around and she sent me a text through our friend. Tuesday, she likes something on my Facebook page. I would definitely ignore those. Unless she's addressing you specifically, I would ignore comments or Facebook likes. Thursday, she commented on a post about my Facebook page. Again, commenting on your posts, unless she's addressing you or asking you a question, I would just ignore it. Friday, she sent a text to me, just a link to a page she thought I would like. That is the first time I responded, and I only said thank you. Because remember, she's like, she keeps using the friend word. It's like, you're not interested in friends. So the only way you're going to do anything with her is if she let her bring it up. So Saturday, she sent me a text again with a link to something she thought I would like, but also said that she saw it and thought of me. She then sent another text saying, any chance we can forget my oversharing and start over as friends? To which I essentially replied, there is no way to forget what you shared with me without a lobotomy, by saying, stop by for a glass of wine when it suits you and we can talk. Her reply was, yay! So I think not pursuing her is working. That doesn't mean she wants to be more fun than friends, but I like testing this theory. I haven't heard from her since Sunday morning, and it's now Tuesday. I really want to contact her. Don't do it. Don't you fucking dare! But I'm not giving in. She had the last word. Hey, she's shown that she's going to come to you, and she's throwing this friends over. Think about it. You're in a negotiation. You want some pussy. I mean, that's my line. You want pussy, all right? I get that. So she's calling, going, hey, can we be friends? And you're like, you can come over for a glass of wine. But plans never seem to happen there. So when a woman says, can we start over as friends? It's like, that's when you got to be crystal fucking clear. You're going to say, you know what, I really like you and I think you're hot. And you know I like you because I've told you that. But I'm not interested in being just buddies or friends. So I'd love to see you. And I'd love to kiss those fucking gorgeous lips of yours. But I'm not interested in coming over and just being friends and keep my hands to myself and being your gay male girlfriend or being buddies. I'm not interested. I'm not looking for that. But if you think I'm hot and sexy, which of course I am, I would absolutely love to see you. So, would you like to come over and make dinner together and have a glass of wine and maybe see what happens? Maybe give me a nice big fat juicy kiss with those gorgeous fucking lips of yours? That's the kind of shit you say. That's how you talk. He says, I've also tested this in an online profile. I created one recently based on your instructions. I have self-confidence issues with my appearance based on childhood experiences, which I'm trying to get over and probably aren't warranted. It's just irrational fears. That's why if you apply this stuff over and over, repetition is the mother of skill. I mean, everybody starts out. When you're a teenager, for most people, that's when you start dating and you get your first kiss. And, I mean, hell, like most people these days are like losing their virginity like 12, 13 years old. I mean, I didn't lose my virginity until I was fucking 21. So, I mean, I can just imagine having sex. And it's like, I mean, because I remember back when I was in middle school, I had plenty of crushes on girls that I liked. And there were girls that liked me who had no idea what to do. And because of the relationship I have with my parents, I never asked anybody out in middle school when I had some great opportunities because I didn't think my dad or my mom would let me date anybody because they were so fucking controlling. And all they ever did was put me down and make fun of me or ignore me. And so I was like, I had terrible self-confidence issues. So I was a late bloomer. It took me time. So everybody starts out at a different place. I mean, if somebody was lucky to grow up in a loving household where mom and dad are like, your dad like, yeah, sure, that girl's cute. Hell yeah, I'll take you guys to the movies. Why not? That's awesome. Good for you. And he knows what he's doing, so he gives you good advice. That's the way it's supposed to work. But most of us don't grow up in those kinds of environments. So you got to figure all this shit out on your own. He says, I dropped a lot of weight recently, and I'm working out all the time. Good for you. Good job. I created the profile, and instead of blabbing about me, I merely described what I'm looking for and asked, is this you? I've already received 6 friend requests and 2 hookup requests. Amazing. I'm not sure how to respond to the friend requests. I did accept, but do I just sit back? Well, I addressed this. There's an article that I did on my website, and you can Google and find this called, if you just Google Corey Wayne, the ultimate online dating profile, I even reference this in the book, I tell you exactly how to respond to these. If somebody reaches out, obviously they're interested in you. Say, hey, it's great hearing from you. We should chat on the phone sometime. Maybe we can do a video Skype or something. When are you free? And make a Skype video date. Then you can see her on video and see what she's like, and that's as close as you're going to get to meeting in person. And if the chemistry's there, if you like the way she looks on the camera and everything, And she's got pictures where you can actually see what her body looks like. Because if you don't, if a woman's only got pictures from the neck up online, chances are her ass is the fucking size of Texas. So unless you can see the full-on body, because women who are beautiful and they know they're hot, they know they got a great body, and they're going to take pictures of that. Women know that us guys are visual creatures, but women that aren't showing pictures of their body, they have self-image issues, or they're just out of shape and they don't look very good. So they try to get you only to focus on the face. I had a friend of mine went to, this is, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago. A friend of mine went to Vegas one time, and he wasn't very successful with women at the time, and he got himself a hooker, and he looked through the peephole when she knocked on the door, and he's like, wow, she's really hot. And then when he opened the door, her butt's like, he was like, oh, man. But he didn't care. He just wanted to get laid. He fucked her anyways. It's like, that's why make sure you can see the body before you meet. You'll save yourself a lot of grief. Trust me on that. That's the reason why, when I'm single, I never do online dating. So, anyways, you get the replies or friend requests and set the Skype video date. And if you have a great conversation, 10 or 15 minutes, say, you seem like such a great gal. We got to get together and have dinner sometime, or meet for a drink, or meet for a cup of coffee, whatever it happens to be. When are you free to get together? And then you move the video date to a Skype date, or maybe you do FaceTime or whatever. It's pretty simple. He says, I asked a couple of them a question that you gave in one of your articles, but I'm not pursuing beyond that, right move? Well, like I said, read that particular article and go through the responses, just like I talked about. Get a Skype video date, get a phone number, get a Skype video date, do FaceTime. And if it goes good there, then absolutely meet him for a date and dinner or drinks. Could be coffee or tea, doesn't have to be alcohol. He says there is also a really attractive girl at my church in the same boat I'm in. Separated, divorced with 2 small kids, and I've been attending on Sundays just to meet her. I haven't had the balls to introduce myself until last week, and during the morning greet your neighbor, I just introduced myself and she did the same. We said hello before the same thing, but I had never had the balls to introduce myself. There is limited time to talk to her. We have our kids on opposite weekends, and she only shows up on weekends that she has her kids, which is a weekend I don't have mine. So now that I introduced myself, should I just sit back and let her come to me? You got to be the man. You got to go up to her and say, hey, you seem like a really great gal. I'd love to get together sometime and maybe have dinner. When are you free? That's what you got to say. You got to put yourself out there, because you keep interacting with her like this, and eventually she's going to figure out you're shy and you lack confidence. And that's not going to get you to where you want to be. He says usually your mom is with her and her kids are there for the first part of the service, but go to a kid's room part of the way through the service. I plan to book a phone coaching session after the first. I own my own business, and the end of the year is hectic. So the problem is you're dithering and you're hesitating at this particular point, and that's why it's really not going anywhere. You're waiting too long. You're not making the move. It's like I said, the same thing with this girl you keep seeing at church. You gotta fucking pull the trigger, because weeks have gone by and you're sitting around wondering, do I have a shot? Do I not have a shot? It's like, get fucking right to it. Make something happen. And even if she says, well, I'm kind of seeing somebody right now, just say, yeah, I think you're a great girl. I really like you. And, if it doesn't work out with that guy, let me know, because I think we'd have a lot of fun together. And if she likes you back, but she's involved with somebody else, she'll just say, yeah, I'd like that. I can tell you and I would definitely have a lot of fun together. She'll say something along those lines that communicates, hey, I do like you. And it's like, great. Then at that point, you don't have to do anything else, because she obviously is involved with somebody. But you got to be prepared either way, because some women you're gonna ask out, and they're gonna have boyfriends or whatever. And if you just say, hey, well, I think you're a great gal. If it doesn't work out, let me know, because I'd love to get together and get to know each other. We'd have a lot of fun. That's all you got to say. But pull the trigger, dude. Make shit happen. Quit dithering and quit hesitating. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.